The U.S. deploying warships to the Middle East. As the New York Times reports, President Trump is still weighing his next move when it comes to Iran. They say the president has, quote, been presented in recent days with an expanded list of potential military options against Iran aimed at doing further damage to the country's nuclear and missile facilities or weakening Iran's supreme leader. The current set of options even includes the potential for American forces to carry out raids on sites inside Iran.
And this all comes just a few hours after the president confirmed he is willing to continue talks with Tehran. Listen.
Have you had any conversations with Iran in the last few days, and are you planning on any?
I have had, and I am planning on it, yeah. We have a lot of very big, very powerful ships sailing to Iran right now, and it would be great if we didn't have to use them. I told them two things. Number one, no nuclear, and number two, stop killing protesters. They're killing them by the thousands.
South Dakota Senator Mike Rounds is a member of the Armed Services Committee, and he joins us now. Senator, thank you so much for joining us. I cannot imagine a world where Iran would willingly give up their nuclear ambitions as they're actively trying to rebuild their program right now. So the president has been presented with this full slate of options. As a member of the Armed Services Committee, what do you think the president should do when it comes to Iran?
Well, good morning. The president has a number of options available to him. He's got a tough job in this particular case because the Iranians have always decided that, number one, they will not rest until they destroy Israel. And second of all, they have made it very clear that we are the great enemy. And so I personally don't believe that we're going to have a safe world or that the Middle East is going to be safe as long as this particular regime is in power. The question that the president will have to wrestle with is which of the military options is the one that he thinks is best, and can he avert using military options by putting them in a position that they realize that they're not going to be around for very long. He's got a tough job here. We're going to support him. He's done some really good things to try to bring peace around the rest of the world, and we're hopeful that he'll be able to find peace in the Middle East as well, and this is a huge job. But he's got the resources. The Pentagon, the Department of War's responsibility is to provide him with as many options as they possibly can, and then to allow him to pick what he believes to be the best path moving forward. We will be supportive of the president in this foreign relations discussion that he's going to have.
I mean, the president says that he does want to negotiate with Iranian officials. Do you put any stock in the fact that this could end in talks, or do you anticipate military action?
Look, there's always a hope that something might happen. The best thing that could happen would be if the people of Iran were in a position to actually choose a new leadership team, a new path forward. Eventually, that's what I believe will have to happen. Under this regime, these folks don't care about killing people. They most certainly don't have the right plan for the Middle East. There's no question about that. President Trump clearly has an opportunity here, and we're going to be supportive of him. I mean, no matter where I go in South Dakota, people want us to support the president. They want us to find a path forward, and they believe that the president has done the right things. And in fact, we've got a budget program going on right now that we're going to be working on trying to fund government for the rest of the year. And when we talk to folks back in the state, they want us to get our work done, and that's kind of what the president is sharing with us. It's the reason why he's been working diligently over the last couple of days to try to find the right path forward to keep the government open. So I give him a lot of credit for having negotiated with Democrats on this particular issue, trying to find the right path, and at the same time, he's got his hands full with these crazies in Iran right now.
Yeah, how do you see this deal playing out over the weekend?
Well, we're going to have a shutdown. I think that's pretty clear, and the reason is just the logistics of working our way to get the House back in time. The best path that we could have had would have been to have passed all 6 of the remaining bills the way they came from the House. The Democrats indicated very clearly they were not going to do that. They'll pass 5 of them, but they want a continuing resolution on the 6th for a short period of time. I think the president has made the right move by saying, look, I want to keep government open, and if you really don't like that 6th bill on Homeland Security, fine, we'll give you a 2-week time period in which you can make recommendations. But I think the Democrats are going to come back with basically the same product that we've got right now. I mean, it's got body cameras in it. It's got additional money in it for additional training for ICE agents and so forth. But we've got to support ICE. We've got to be able to support the people that are on the ground. The president wants to do that. And we're going to be supportive of the alternative that he's offered and made the deal with the Democrats on. Well, it takes time in the Senate because you've got to have unanimous consent of every member in the Senate if you're going to slow down the process.
Right.
In other words, you've got to have 30 hours of debate before you can even get on the bill, unless you have consent. Well, we've got a couple guys that have said we'd like to add a few more things onto this thing, and while we don't want to make it into a Christmas tree, there's some guys on our side of the aisle that want to have some amendments put in, and now the Democrats are going to want to throw in a couple of amendments as well. It's a matter of whether or not we can get through that in a timely fashion, but there's going to be a shutdown for a short period of time. You still got to get back to the House, and they'd have to agree with the changes that the Senate would make.
It begs the question why you guys don't sync up your schedules better. That's not a question for you necessarily, Senator. It's just
Can we talk about that? Can there
to
be
the
some
American
sort of
people.
legislation on syncing up those schedules? Also, you know, ICE has already funded through the Big Beautiful Bill for several years, but apparently there will be a partial government shutdown, as you predict, and let's hope the emphasis will be on the word short when it comes to this one.
Look, I'll tell you what, I wanted to get back in South Dakota for the Black Hills Stock Show in Rapid City, South Dakota. Looks like we're going to be here instead, but the folks out there understand it. They want us to get our job done, and
sure, of course,
it'd be nice if we actually got it done on time for a change.
Senator, thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Mike Rounds, great state of South Dakota.
Yes.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.